The one-child policy. One of the most disturbing policies on the planet Earth. You would think you could have as many kids as you want, right? Well, you're wrong, because some countries only allow you to have one child. There is one place that is known for the one-child policy. Can you guess it? If you guess China, you are correct. The one-child policy, a part of the family planning policy, was a population planning policy in China. It was introduced in 1979 and began to be formally phased out in 2015. The policy was allowed many exceptions and ethnic minorities were exempt. For example, in 2007, 36% of China's population was subject to a strict one-child restriction, but you could have another child if your first child was a girl. The problem with this is that your second child has to be a boy so your family's lineage can continue. How it came to be. When the one-child policy was adopted in 1979, China's population was about 972 million people. In 2012, the population of China is about 1.343 billion people, 130% growth over that time period. The policy was changed in 2015 to 2 children per family, which may help the population stay controlled, while at the same time keeping people happy. History. It all started in 1959 when China experienced a famine killing 15 to 30 million people. China realized they were making way too many babies instead of food, so something happened in 1979. In 1979, the Chinese government introduced a policy requiring couples from China's ethnic Han majority to limit themselves to one child. The official start of implementation came in 1980, with an open letter issued by the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. The letter outlined the population pressure on the country and set out a goal of curbing population growth, bringing the nation's total below 1.2 billion at the end of the 20th century. As reports from the time noted, the nation's 38 million Communist Party members were told to use patient and painstaking persuasion to teach the rest of the population how important it was to practice family planning. How people live with it. Let's talk about how people in China live with these laws. China has almost 20% of the world's total population. To control rapid growth in the population and to ensure quality of life, family planning is one of the basic state policies since 1978. As a measure to avoid overpopulation, late marriage and postponement of childbearing means fewer but healthier babies, something that is greatly encouraged by the government. In 1979, China became the first country to launch the one-child per couple policy. Pluses and negatives. After the one-child policy, birth rates of women began to fall tremendously since they were afraid that if they had a second child, they would be fined, sterilized, etc. The good was that they could now feed the entire population and control their people since there was a smaller population. The downside is that families who wanted a boy began to abandon their daughters if they had one, which was really bad. So even after it started, sure, everyone could be fed, but some children are abandoned because. Interview. So after doing our research, we found out how the people from China felt about the law in this interview.
您觉得您的生活有影响吗？那您是独生子女吗？
不是的，我有2个姐姐。
您是哪一年啊？
我是75年。
75年，那就是您没赶上计划生育是吧？
对。
那您生孩子的话，只能生1个是吧？那2个吗？为什么呢？
现在国家也逐渐放开了，你要人口不能
哦。那您觉得这个计划生育的出台，您支持吗？
肯定支持。要不支持，你看现在那里多少人，地球肯定吵个架。
我有两个姐姐，因为我本身是少数民族。哦，我是西伯族。西伯族哦，可以生两个。那如果呢，我还想生更多的，可能还是不行，有影响。您赞同这个计划生育政策的实施吗？可能是因为国家更大的利益需要吧。哦，都是对世界人口的贡献吧。
哦，一个哥哥一个妹妹。
哦，哎，你们为什么没赶上计划生育呢？
哦，我妹妹赶上，但是因为我们在农村，然后那个计划生育到我妹妹的时候，就是城市里，比如80年开始，但是到我妹妹那会儿，到村里可能到82年，然后我们正好赶上，所以她就提前出来了。
提前出来。对。那现在计划生育对您也没有影响是吗？
对，对我们现在没影响。我觉得其实中国现在没有必要再实行计划生育，因为现在大家思想都比较成熟。
As you can see, the first person in this case who agreed with the policy since it helps maintain the population. Then, the next person who talked was a woman who also agreed with it for the population control, but the third woman thought it was unnecessary since people are more mature now. So the people, like we thought, have mixed feelings about the policy law, like they would since it's about their family. So that's it. If you have 2 or more kids, or plan on having 2 or more kids, appreciate them.
Created using Powtoon.